morning, everybody. It's Thai has always been very close to my heart, really. And it's in India, one of the early person to be a charter member in India. Got involved in the US when the US was Thai was just about to start, really. Like Z said, it's a lot of different things that I have gone through. And we thought today, let's speak about the topic of branding and niche segment, really. Branding is very interesting. At the same time, it's very challenging. Okay. More so if it's a consumer product. Okay. And if it is a niche market, is it even more challenging? A lot of time, we confuse, a lot of people confuse branding with advertisement. When advertisement is one way of communication for your brand. The branding is a lot more. It's a positioning of your product. Very, very important. It's providing the right product to the right customer. It's understanding your product, what is the value proposition, who is your customer, and why should they buy it. These are very simple things to do. And frankly, if I continue with this theoretical way, we all know about it. Nothing new that I am telling to anybody, really. So instead of talking the theory, what the brand should be or how it should be built, okay, I'm going to basically share my experience. What we have done, what worked for us, and what did not work for us. Okay. I'm not going to claim that I'm expert in building the brand. Neither I want to portray it that way. Okay. It's just sharing what we do. Being a Thai member, gone through the different phases from different industries. Coming 8:30 in the morning in Mumbai, it's not it's a challenge by itself, really. So all of you have come to really, see something interesting to hear, really. And I have experienced when it becomes more interactive, okay, it's, you get best out of it, really. You go to business school. How does one business school differentiate from the other business school? It's the case studies that we discuss there. It is not, it's the same book that everybody, so if it was the same book, learning from it, it is not that one school is different than the other school. It's the interactive interaction between the students and the teacher. Okay. And today I'm not kind of delivering a lecture here. I am just one of you, just facilitating different things about the brand, and I'll take it as my experience. Ask different question. Even if it is a little different industry, okay, we take it and discuss it a little bit, really, depending upon the time permit. Before we start about RightBite, I'll probably take a quick minute to tell you about my background that will help you, understand, where I come from. Okay. I have a degree in agriculture from Nagpur University. Was all set to go back on my farm. Okay. Just happened to go to the US, did my master's degree in computer science, and worked in the software industry, internals of Unix operating system. Started my first company in 1990, software product company. Again, not the consulting business, but the product business. Very different than the services business. Did fairly multiple companies. Some of them did very well, some of them closed down. moved back to India after 15 years in the US in 1999 to take responsibility of our product development center in India. One of the company got acquired at a reasonable sum, did fairly well financially for myself. Started another company here in mobile space, which became Roamware, is the current company. Yeah, it's everybody has some feeling of giving back to the society. Okay, some small, some big, some dedicate their life, some just do small thing. And me coming from a small village, farming background, wanted to think of doing something for the farming community. That's where I connect. Came across interesting herb called stevia. I don't know how many of you know about it. It's a herb. It's a natural. It's like a tulsi type of a plant. And the leaves of this.
It is sweeter than sugar.
Yeah. The concentrate is 300 times sweeter than sugar, and leaves are 20 times sweeter than sugar. While running my software business, I was thinking of something to do on the social side. What caught my attention, number one, is plantation of stevia is about 10 times more income than cotton and wheat. And from business standpoint, 0 calorie sweetener, natural, herbal, very interesting business concept. So I said, let me see, if I want to do something in this, primarily from a social side. So I needed a platform to start this company, for the stevia marketing. And that's how Natural as a company started. And instead of wearing a hat of a CEO of a software company, I changed to the consumer business and became a CEO of consumer business as Natural as a company. My first consumer business, until then I was selling software products, $500,000 average transaction, $500,000. To a consumer business, 10 cents, 20 cents per transaction, very, very different way of doing business. Never had to worry about whether red color looks better than the blue color, or which one goes better, or what taste, sweetness profile should be, or the flavor profile should be. Yeah, it's like you build a CD, software, put a CD or on the internet, and there you go. Okay. Never had to worry about what is the cost of manufacture, right? Like I said, my first consumer business had my own learnings in that. It's a good way to say made a lot of mistakes also, right? When you say learning. Got a permission from state government to manufacture. Gujarat government gave permission. Wonderful response for the first 6 months. After 6 months, we received a communication from central government saying stevia is not in the approved list of sweetener. There you go. Didn't have expertise to really manage the government. I said this is not on for me really. So what do we do? The company is already about 50 people. Easiest thing would have been it's a small business. Let's not worry about it really. Let's move on and do something. But by that time, one, the company was about 50 people. Two, I had developed significant interest in consumer products. Okay. So instead of throwing in the towel, I said I want to continue here, build the business. Okay. We spent about 15 years in the US. What we do is observe what is happening around. Nutrition bar was one of the emerging segment in the US that time. Okay. Today, nutrition bar has become a big industry in the US, but we're talking about 8 years back, it was emerging segment. I said, wonderful. In India, there's no nutrition bars per se. It's a virgin market. So I said, decided to get into nutrition bars. It took about a year or so for formulation, distribution, packaging, all development. And that's how the Right Bite as the product started. Um, again, very new business, and what we have initially started as stevia, very new business.
Okay, stevia closed down.
Because of the, it's an on and off, but right now we're not promoting stevia. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on the issues that we have, but it's just so that you guys have a feel for it really. So the nutrition bar, if I look at its emerging industry in the US, trends typically in India is whatever in the Western world becomes successful. 5-7 years later on, the India catches up on that. It's a very normal thing. Okay. So we came out with nutrition bar. First 3 variants that we had. Right Bite as the brand. Okay. The chocolate variant. Then white chocolate and no chocolate has the Mary Berry, which has cranberries and other fruits in there. Very, our value proposition is healthy snack, has protein, calcium, vitamins and minerals. When we launched the product, before that, did some market survey, talked to the consumers, saying, what do you consider as healthy? Again, natural as a company, okay, our tagline is lifestyle by nature. Okay. All the products that we will do should be natural and healthy. Okay. So when you say healthy product, we talk to consumer, what do you consider as a healthy product? Fruits and vegetables came on the top. Milk, dry fruits, okay, and then the whole lot of other things really. When we position the product as a new company, how do we? Okay, if you look at the US, they'll say so many grams of protein, so many milligrams of vitamin A, so many milligrams of vitamin C. And frankly, how many of us know 30 milligrams of vitamin A? Is it high or low? Hardly any one of us know really. Okay. So we sat down, we said, okay, how do we communicate with the customers? We said, again, startup, do not have a whole lot of budget. Okay. Be innovative in everything that we do. So we say, for communication, we said, each bar gives protein and calcium equivalent to 1 cup of milk. So quickly we understand. 3.2 gram protein, again we don't know whether it's less or more. 1 cup of milk, we understand. Protein and calcium is what is the key nutritional elements of milk. We all understand. We supplemented this with vitamins and minerals. Vitamin A, C, and E. Vitamin A quickly comes to mind is carrots. Okay. So it has vitamin A equivalent to 3 carrots, vitamin C equivalent to 1 orange, and vitamin E equivalent to 6 almonds. How do we communicate? We say, let's figure it out. Put it in the back here. Okay. Something that people take it. Somebody reading it, at least they get connected what the product is and what the benefits are. Okay. Launch the product. 96 marathon, Mumbai Marathon is when we did our first sampling at the South Bombay near the BT and then so on. And the product was launched after that in 96 Jan 5th. Reasonable response, okay. Distribution primarily through the retail outlets. That was what the most of the outlets were, and little bit from the modern trade. the modern trade trend has just started. Modern trade meaning the self-serving supermarkets. So we started the first consumer business. Things are picking up. Lot of excitement.
You launched it only in Bombay, or
2006 or 1990.
I'm sorry, 2006.
You were in US.
It's yeah, I was in the US at that time. I moved in 1990. 2006 is when we launched. Okay, a reasonable response. Okay. Price point 15 rupees per bar. Okay. So we started, a reasonable response, but the volumes were not very high. Okay. So we started getting feedback. 15 rupees as the price point, not strategic. Okay. You should look at 10 rupees. Okay. Okay. I mean, see, I'm not an expert, right? The whole team was first timer here. Okay. Okay, 10 rupees sounds good. Okay. Started coming feedback. If you really want to do, it's the way it works is people try. 5 rupees is the price point for consumer in the mass market. You should have product in 5 rupees. Okay. Okay, 5 rupees yes, 10 rupees yes. TV advertisement has to be there. Without that, you cannot. I said okay. It's I had, because of my, resources, I said, okay, let's spend some money on here. Let's do it right. Okay. Came out with the product. 2 variants we launched in 10 rupees. 2 variants in 5 rupees. Okay. 10 rupees was a smaller bar than this. Okay. 5 rupees was a very different concept where I don't know how many of you probably know about a very popular product called Rice Krispie Treat.
Yeah.
Kellogg's product in the US. Product similar to that, and the concept was calcium equivalent to 1 cup of milk. Okay, very simple with what? Calcium Sandoz, big brand, 200 crore market segment for calcium. Even if I get 10% of it, 20 crore business will, sounds everything great on terms of paper, right? 5 rupee product, taste very similar to Rice Krispie Treats, calcium equivalent to 1 cup of milk. So, we decided to go mass market. Distribution from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, from Gujarat to Guwahati, everything in between, from Patna to Orissa to wherever that you go. Okay. Backed it with TV advertisement. Launched product after 3 months, about 6 months of TV campaign. We have taken 8 channels, mix of kids channel to news channel, GEC. 3 bursts of 1 month each. So we will advertise in 1 month, take a break in 2nd month, advertise in 3rd month, and so on. In terms of, we thought the positioning is right, the product is right. Okay. In the TV media is there. What we were targeting, our target customer was customer who are eating chocolates today. We all know and preach chocolate is not a healthy thing to eat. So wonderful. This is a healthy chocolate, can work very well as a replacement for somebody who will be eating the chocolate. Okay. So that was our target audience, 16 below, replacement of chocolate. It's a healthy snack. It has a chocolate flavor or chocolate coating. 5 rupee price point. Let's go all out. Right? We thought it's going to be a big bumper thing, right? And the whole thing just bombed big time. Okay. And so we were trying to understand why. Okay.
The 5 and the 10, both the second.
5 rupees, 10 rupees.
Both
just
of them.
both of them gone. We had to collect, a lot of damaged goods. I mean, most of the companies would have been closed, but very rarely, when you take this kind of losses, I've given my goods, collected the money. After that, it's your responsibility. You sell it. If you're not, you take the losses. And that's how the distribution, a lot of time works really. We were not ready to throw in the towel. Okay, we said, okay, we don't want to continue, right? So collected, paid money, or given the new goods, closed half the distribution outlet really, or more than that. So huge amount of losses in terms of the TV advertisement and collecting the money back, collecting the goods back, paying money to the distributors or whatever. What we realized, 5 rupees price point. Okay. I stay in Hiranandani in Odisha. Hiranandani is considered to be one of the prosperous prime location. The building I stay in, one of the best building in Hiranandani. So I talk to my friends, and how do, where we talk about is whom do we talk to and get market feedback. I talk to the people I know. Okay. I happen to move around in a, which is a higher circle. My friends say, wonderful product, Vijay. Okay, when can I have it? Okay. I gave samples to them and so on. Excellent. I can give it in my children's snack box. Everybody has to give some snack to their children. Excellent. And this is like a small thing along with their sandwich or whatever goes well. So they were looking for the products. Okay. When we started placing the product, the A-class outlets and a larger supermarket in the prosperous area refused to keep the product. See, we are a small company. We did not have and do not have the muscle power of a large company of a liver or a P&G. Let's say my 500 products are coming. This is the extra 5 SKUs. You have to keep it. No questions asked. They keep it. For us, that was not the case. Oh. This is a 10 rupee product or a 5 rupee product. How many will have? What is the margin? 20%. That means 20% of a 5 rupees is a 1 rupee. If I sell 100 bars in a month, how much I get? 100 rupees. Not worth it really. My space is very expensive. I am paying 100 rupees a square feet for rent. That means just to cover the rent, I need 100 rupees. I have other expenses and the profit, so I can keep it. Okay. Who gave the product? The small kirana shop. Typically not in a high-end areas, but somewhere in the outskirts. Who goes to those shops? Typically individuals, children, okay, who may not be at a higher income group, who are really looking for confectionery. Okay. So when they picked up the 5 rupee bar, okay, there is a disappointment. To the extent, I remember one of the retail outlet, when I was visiting market visit, okay, he started just bombarding me. My customers are so unhappy. They are saying, you are cheating them. I said, why? 5 रुपए का प्रोडक्ट दिया आपने, ये तो कुरमुरा और मूढ़ी बना के दिया, इसके ऊपर चॉकलेट भी नहीं है, बिग बाइट इससे बड़ा है, उसके ऊपर चॉकलेट है, you are cheating. I mean, I have no answer, right? So it is, it's an excellent product, but not giving to the right customer. Okay, so very important. The right product for the right customer. Okay, so it's you may have the all the TV advertisement, all the different things, but we were not able to provide the right product to the right customer. Okay. Some other observations that we had. Product was moving well from supermarkets, where customer was able to touch and feel the product. Okay, when they look at it, okay, most of the time it was picked up as a nutrition bar, as opposed to a chocolate. Okay. So there is a certain expectation already set, and I am taking this as a nutrition bar. Second thing, movement was better from a higher in economically prosperous area, more so from metros. Okay, if it is Mumbai, Juhu, Bandra, Andheri, Hiranandani, South Bombay, or some of the prosperous pockets, that's where the product will move better compared to some of the other areas where it's a upcoming area, but not the spending power is not as strong. Third observation, very critical, was we were seeing who were buying the repeat purchase. Okay. Again, this is something that you talk to the retailers, talk to the customers and find out. Observation was it was not the children who were buying, okay, but the grown-ups who were buying it more, which is very different than the whole product positioning we had. Okay, it was 16 and below was our core target segment really. Some other observations where we had packaging, 3 variants, all 3 of them were red and blue. Okay, this picture was different here. Okay, and the flavor name was different. Again, the first time we did not know what how the packaging should be, right? So interestingly, big confusion for the shopkeeper, because they go by color. Red and blue is one, pink and white is something else. It's even today you will see, oh, why the other customer, even if I have to order my mouthwash, okay, blue color wala do. Okay, well, I don't say the particular Colgate or this or that really. That's the consumer, behavior. Okay, suddenly we say, oh, we have to. It's a different problem really. Also, call it whatever nutrition bar, whatever that you may want here. Okay. If it is packed in this format, consumer calls it a chocolate. Okay. This is basically Rice Krispies, soy nuggets, different cranberries and different fruits and nuts in there. Has 0 cocoa, no chocolate. Still, when I was standing in the shop, oh, Meri Meri wala chocolate though. I said, ye to usme chocolate nahi, but that's how the consumer, think of it. So what we did, change the packaging, different colors, 3 different products, 3 different colors. We also realized, if I go with the typical brand building, RiteBite as a brand is the most important thing for me. Okay, that's what it should be, the big one. We realized whether we call this as a RiteBite or an XYZ brand, nobody gives a damn at the early stage. Very important for us now or moving forward. But 5-6 years back, okay, the brand was not something which RiteBite was very prominent or known. we had exhausted a lot of resources. I didn't have more to significant amount to put in. So what do? I said, we need to figure out something my customer is picking. It's still today. When somebody is picking this as a chocolate which has zero chocolate, okay, how do I differentiate? So what we said, additional product that we bring in, we will not touch with this one, but the additional product that we will bring in, we want to have based on benefit driven. Okay. There are 3 categories that we had identified. Sugarless, okay, as a category is significant. So we said instead of calling a right bite in a big one and a small variant as a sugarless, let us call the bar as a sugarless. Just putting your brand name which coincides with the category name. So somebody picking this bar, okay, there is no confusion. I am having a confectionery. It just says sugarless. The bar for women. Okay, there is a very less chance of picking it as a chocolate. Somebody picks it up because they say, oh, something interesting connects with women. The bar, little more of a looking at it. This is the nutrition required for women.
Are you comfortable with questions in the group?
Sure.
You said no sweetener. What sweetener are you using currently?
Sorry.
How are you,
Sugarless.
how are you sweetening the product?
It's primarily as a maltitol and a fructose.
Okay. A question related to maltitol. Maltitol is also like a laxative. Like, have people, do people face problems in connection with that?
If taken in a reasonable quantity, it's not a bad thing. And we're, so we will talk probably in terms of certain benefits and something. So if I can have reserved this question about maltitol, I'll address that.
Thank you.
But do feel free to answer the question, and I will be blunt enough to say if you can hold on. If it is related to the conversation right now,
Sure, sir.
I'll be happy to. So I'm not discouraging to asking questions.
I understand.
So what is it by saying it as a woman bar or a sugarless bar? I am defining the category. I am telling the benefits on the top, and that had helped significantly for us in getting the right product to the right consumer. Okay. We changed our distribution, focused morely on metros in A-class outlets and supermarkets. Okay. New products, different packaging, scale down distribution and overall number of outlets. And frankly, that had worked much better. Okay. Damage of 25% or so had come down to 2%. Okay. And 2% is a normal, in terms of returns, which is industry norm really. So it's a much better way of handling and doing the business. So there are newer product that we have. So the focus shifted from 16 and below to core segment of 20 to 40, with extended from 16 to 60. With target audience, health conscious, busy lifestyle, it means living in metros typically, higher income group, educated. See, the higher income group, educated, does not mean as health conscious, but typically there is a correlation really. So I'm not going to say it's not product is not for only for this people. So it helps us focus on a specific consumer.
Right from beginning, because of pricing now,
we changed the price from the 10 rupee product became 12 rupees, 15 rupee product became 18 rupees. Current pricing are from 20 rupees to 90 rupees, depending upon which variant it is.
Starts at 20.
Starts at 20.
Right from beginning, the product was actually a niche market product.
Yes.
What made you go to masses to market such a niche market?
Like I said, it's you're here to people, it's like saying, very much 5 rupee wala product chahiye. Okay. So it's if I have to do it again, okay. See, it's to build volume. Okay. If you have a 5 rupee segment, you build large volume. Okay. So I will not say that 5 rupees is a wrong price point. Okay. I would rather say we did not have enough budget and the staying power to push 5 rupee product and educate the masses. Okay. I will not say, don't take it as saying, it's a 5 rupee segment is not the right segment for nutrition bars. Okay. Frankly, there is very rarely it's a right or a wrong. Okay, depending upon how you position yourself. Okay, and then whatever the strategy is, push it with enough resources to back it up.
Yeah, so now what you told us was that you instead of picking up right bite, you've gone to branding it with the category. Right? So does that signify a change in your branding strategy? And the other part is now the earlier failure, if I may call it a failure, was in the sense you went out with the TV rollout and you went out full scale. How has your strategy, branding strategy, changed with the new?
It has changed significantly. I'll address that. So we found this to be a better item for us. Okay, again, don't take me that was wrong. This is right. Okay, it's our experience is what you should look at. Then we came out with a newer product. We launched about 6-8 months back. It is a new variant of Max Protein. New variant of it is a Max Protein bar. Okay. So when we started with the workout bar, good response. Okay. If I go to the gymnasium, okay, trainers will not take this bar. Okay. It has 10 gram of protein. When we talk to them, say, imported bars, 20 to 25 gram of protein. I say, oh, but that is 200 rupees. I mean, at that time, about before the rupee got devalued so much, about 2 years back or so, about 125 to 150 rupees price point for the imported bar giving 20 to 22 gram of protein. I said, this is 45 rupees. If you add up, take 2 bars, 20 gram protein. Doesn't work. And then say, oh, it has a lot of carbohydrate, a lot of sugar, this, that, so on. So based on that feedback, we said, instead of going down the value chain in terms of the price point, we decided to go up the value chain. Okay. Max protein bar, high protein bar, low carbohydrate, 20 gram of protein, which is equivalent to, in terms of protein comparison, if you want to get 20 gram protein, you need to get about half a milliliter of milk, or 3 eggs, or 3 cup of dal. Okay. 5 gram of fiber. If I have to compare it, it's almost 2 serving of oatmeal. Has electrolytes, L-glutamine, amino acids. If you are in a workout, if something, if your muscle gets tired, a lot of people take these tablets of glutamine. Okay, helps your body to recover, your muscles to recover. When you go out, you lose salt, so electrolytes. Gatorade is a good example. Really. You all take Gatorade because it has electrolytes in there. L-glutamine in there. Protein, it's in there. Fiber, it's in there. Has 21 vitamins and minerals. So it's like pretty much equivalent to taking a tablet, your vitamin tablet. and it's a prebiotic. So it's a reasonably very good formulation, excellent for post-workout, okay, because you need protein after the workout. Also, this is a very good meal replacement bar. So new positioning is, to a hectic lifestyle, we go for this 1 o'clock lunchtime, 12:30 we get into the meeting, instead of having a lunch at 1 o'clock, we end up having it at 4 o'clock. Okay. Breakfast in the morning, okay, wake up late, and it's just that, get in the car or a rickshaw or a bus or whatever, you don't have time. You can open the wrapper and while walking to your car and you can consume this bar. The reason I said the meal replacement, if you eat this bar, one full bar, have a glass of water after that, very comfortably 4-5 hours you can get the feeling, your stomach feeling, satiation feeling is very good. Okay.
And this was which year? Because the time sense is lost now in the conversation.
Okay. We launched this in November last year, so about 7-8 months now. Okay.
What's the price
One
point?
question. Any social media marketing or email marketing, online marketing?
Price point 90 rupees. We were, very much, in kind of 90 rupees, one bar will customer buy. It's a big thing, right? 20 rupees, 25 rupees to 90 rupees, it's a, we had big debate. Okay. So, I went out, talked to the customer. Initially we said 75 rupees. Can't go beyond 75. That's too much, right? Went and talked to New Life was one of the where I personally went and talked to them and understand. I said, if I price at 90 rupees, what do you think? No. And I said, I talked to my salespeople. Who is also most of the time the salespeople will say, keep the price low. This time they say 90 rupees rako. 100 rupees. I wanted to keep less than 100. It's a psychological thing. So 90 rupees. And it's when I it's like a consumer fair we go to. Standing in there, observing 90 rupees. Believe me, the spending power has increased so significantly. It's like I feel sometimes 90 rupees is a little higher, but there are so many people who feel 90 rupees is not much. And if you think of it, who is our consumer? Let's take a look at a sandwich. Okay, you get 20 rupees in a big triangular sandwich, grilled sandwich, and so on. If you go to Subway, cost 100 rupees. Okay, the Gadiwala sandwich and this sandwich, same ingredients. Okay, Gadiwala sandwich probably put chaat masala and other things, probably more tasty. But people like you and me, we go to Subway. Okay, we feel it's more health conscious. Right. Those are my customers. Okay, people who are paying 100 rupees for a sandwich, those are my customers. 90 rupees for if I go out for a meal, for a lunch, spending 500 rupees is like a common thing now. Okay. For them, 90 rupees is good. But somebody who looks at it, I get a full thali in 50 rupees. Okay, then it doesn't justify. So again, identify the customers where you are. It's contributing about 25% of my revenue. Okay, very significant.
I personally consumed 200 bars in the last 6 months. I paid 300 to my friends, so at least 500 bars I've personally consumed.
Well, that's
5% of the 20%. Some commission.
Really great. I mean, it feels good to hear that, really. And it's like he came to me and said it, so I don't have to. You saying it, really.
No, I'm saying, if you are really traveling in these days and your job demands that you travel, you just can't trust and have food anywhere. Even if you might be traveling with airlines, you don't know whether that channel is stale or what corridor it is. Even if you are traveling with alternative of train, you know, it's convenience and safety factor. See, I don't want to.
And just a day before yesterday, we were trying to position different things, and we came out. It's not the we haven't really zeroed down, but we came out with this thing: 2-minute lunch. Okay, this 2 minutes has become so popular with Maggie. Makes 2 minutes lunch. I mean, think of it. It's 2 minutes before. A lot of time. It's very common to just have an emergency meeting or a quick meeting. Just before lunchtime, it just happens that before you want to have a lunch or plan to do something, there's a meeting called in. To have a bar doesn't take more than 2 minutes. That means you can have a lunch or a breakfast in 2 minutes.
And at proper time.
At proper
That is
time.
most important.
Right. It's a
I have a question. This product contains higher nutrition value, right? So, how do you communicate it to the consumer? Like, if I go and have it 3 bars at a time, maybe it might be dangerous to my health. So, how do you communicate that this has to be taken like when you work out for the gym or a special circumstance when you don't have to?
So, we were talking about how do we communicate? What is the branding strategy? What are the things which have changed? Okay. Primarily focus BTL activities. Okay, below the line activities, where branding in terms of visibility is our primary focus. Okay, keep the product visible as much as possible. Wherever required, pay for getting the visibility, but we found that to be the most effective thing. POP material, whether it's a poster, banner, large, this thing, your see-through on the glass door of, gymnasium or supplement stores, or where the product is kept, something in the back of it, works very, very well. Okay. So really, it's the old-fashioned way of saying, जो दिखता है वो दिखता है. I mean, it's like, when I started, coming from a software, spending 15 years in the US, when my agency guy said, जो दिखता है वो दिखता है. I don't know this guy. When we really talk about all the new things, internet marketing, the innovative things, okay? Believe me, in consumer business, I have experienced different things, okay, and I also have come to the, saying, I'm not saying that is the only thing, but जो दिखता है वो दिखता है, it really is fact. Okay. So it's very, very important to have good visibility. Okay. Another thing, sampling. Food product. Okay. Sampling is a tricky thing. If I, Hypercity gives my product. If I go to Hypercity, there are 5,000 people coming in. Whom do I give the sample? So it's a difficult thing really. Okay. But it does work. So we have to identify which type of outlets where it is not 5% of the consumer walking in your customer, but at least 25, 30, 40% of the customer walking in here works very well. Okay, we used to do gymnasium sampling. So we will take a bar of workout, cut pieces, give it to you, very normal standard thing, right? Because it's expensive. This is 50 rupees. I cannot give 50 rupee bar to each customer. Plus, we don't have control whether it goes for a sample or it goes for selling or it comes back to me. I have no control on that. So what did we do? Come out with a sample. Okay, a sample bar with a backlay with the information in the back. Okay, the information in the back, we talk about whatever the nutritional, and there is a small chart here. If you take a bar, how much protein, how much fat, how much fiber that our bar gets, and compare it with sandwich, idli sambar, okay, 2 chapati and sabji, or oatmeal, okay, and it compares very favorably. And we compare, it's not just the favorability in the nutrition, but also it picked up the one that, by eating one sandwich, a 6-inch Subway sandwich, whatever the satiation feeling or stomach fullness feeling that you will get it from one right bite bar, and that has been very, very much, lot of people have given the feedback to you, and you can probably, tell that also.
So because technically, gymmers do see the calorie content also. So basically, this the slimmer one was one which I really liked it.
This is the sugar-free variant.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
sugar-free.
no added sugar in there. Okay, and the sugar gives a lot of carbohydrate. So the people going to the gym, it's like golden rule: as much protein, as less carb. Okay, so this has only 20, with 20 gram protein, only 14 gram of net carb. Pretty good formulation from that standpoint.
So Vinay, you once mentioned that the trainers were not taking, are they now more open to this?
Oh, this
after
is absolutely, yeah.
Mm.
But again, it's like a lot of people who are going to the gym are taking it, but still, the channel of trainers still has not picked up as much, and there are different commercial reasons. If they sell a 1 jar of protein powder, which costs on average 5,000 rupees, they get 15 to 20%, so about 1,000 rupees. It's getting 1,000 rupees from these bars, they will sell a lot more. Okay, that is, but there is not. Okay, you probably may not have taken a workout bar before as much really as you are taking the max protein.
Yeah, now it's in the car.
Okay.
I don't know why. Yes, I have got at least 30, 40 still in the home. 5 boxes as well. I'm just distributing people samples, etc. Friends, Bangalore. I told him also basically, a lot of my friends actually calling from Bangalore to send it. I have to send him 5 boxes to do. I told him, do you get it in Bangalore? He said, you do get it. So I just gave him a feedback that probably people in Bangalore don't know that he didn't do that. That was, my feedback probably.
There are at least 500 to 800 outlets in Bangalore that carry the product. So we changed from sampling works for better. I mean, it's this kind of things. So this is the current health, men's health. Okay. So we put this sample along with it. And this kind of thing, it's I don't know exact result because it just got out really. But this kind of sampling should work better. Where it's reaching out to the right customer.
You get brand in that.
It's a good way. It helps. It helps. This kind of things, do help. Okay.
This cost. This exercise
it's a negotiation. Okay, so it's for some people they may charge 3 rupees per insert. For some people they may charge 25 rupees per insert. Okay, it's how much money you have in your pocket, and how much they want to
negotiate with these.
So it's a lot of
long term you want to repeat.
a lot of different things really. Okay, so it will start with 3 rupees up to 25 rupees, depending upon which magazine and what how it works. Okay, but this again reaches to the right customer.
Have you thought about sponsoring this bodybuilding with competition?
That is one thing that we are we must have sponsored at least few dozen bodybuilding competition. But more than bodybuilding, what works out better is see, the bodybuilding is again a different type of thing. We still do that and we'll continue to do it because a lot of trainers do come in there. Okay.
You're positioning these max protein bars as workout bars or meal replacement, or you're positioning in all the three?
Post-workout. Okay. For the people who are not taking protein powder after the workout. Okay. For them, this is a post-workout protein bar. We all know, or if not, it's within 30 minutes of post-workout, after workout, taking protein helps build your muscles. Okay, nothing that new I'm telling, it's a fact. All dietitians, trainers will tell that. Observation is only 8% of the people who go to gymnasium take protein powder after workout.
In India.
Yeah, in India.
In India. Okay. How about the other remaining 92%? Therefore, it's good for everybody. Okay. A lot of people go in the morning, do workout, and then go to the office directly. What do? Eat sandwich, eat idli, or something similar, and then go to office. Or work out in the evening, around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Okay. You are hungry right after that, you again end up in eating something which is sandwich or idli or samosa or whatever it might. Samosa are less, but they are more, we feel that sandwich is more healthy. We feel biscuit is more healthy. The fact is, biscuit is not a very healthy thing to do. Okay? But it's the the impression is biscuit is very healthy. Okay, it has a lot of, it's carb, fat and sugar. That's what the biscuit is. I don't want to say bad thing about biscuit, there are some good biscuits also really. But in general, so at 6 o'clock workout, typically they eat something. So instead of that, this is a good protein bar.
Just one doubt to that. So 30 minutes post the workout, your protein should go inside and should dissolve as fast as possible. Isolate does it fast. This will take time. That is the reason I don't need immediately after workout, I can take it later.
I said people, there are different types of proteins. Okay, soy, whey, calcium, caseinate. Whey protein absorption is fastest among the three. So it is recommended to take whey protein, especially in India, right after the exercise. Soy absorption is medium in terms of time, and caseinate takes the kind of extended time to over a period of time to get that. When you have blend of this, it actually works for best. Okay, but if I have to tell to the trainer, they're not going to accept it. So we're saying, if somebody is taking a whey, please continue. Okay, but though that individual do take sandwich or something else they eat. So at the time of eating sandwich, this is a better supplement for them because it gives 20 grams of protein. Okay. Saying people who are not taking any protein, this is a better choice for them. Okay. So that is one segment. The second segment is meal replacement. Okay. Something we are coming out with is a 2-minute lunch or 2-minute breakfast. We all know having 4 to 5 meals is a better thing. Eating your lunch at 1 o'clock or breakfast in the morning is a very important meal. Eating dinner at not 10 o'clock in the night but 7 o'clock in the evening. We know it, but our schedule does not permit us. Okay. So at that time, this is an excellent bar. Or in between the meals, works out very well. 5 o'clock, you're hungry, your energy level is down. If you eat a nutrition bar or something at that time, okay, you don't, hog on your dinner in a big time window, and that's the right thing.
I think you had a question.
So what protein is it again? The 20 grams? What protein is it?
A mix of all three.
It's a mix of three. It has soy, whey, and caseinate.
Sometimes we just said 8% of people, only 8% take some protein after the workout. I mean, what was your source of getting such data? I mean, did you conduct a market research or?
For that, this whatever some of the articles that comes in.
Nice. Okay.
And you
So
you go to any gym and ask, they say, we talk to a few trainers and those are the numbers. Some people say 5%, some people say 10%.
Did you conduct a market survey on habits of people of this nature, or you just kept learning things on the way?
A lot of it is informal survey.
Okay.
Okay. Definitely, call it the market survey, call it the informal survey. It is not that we had given out the big project to a company, come out with, survey for us. Right? It's a lot more in terms of talking and interviewing people.
So, I mean, again, just like to come back to that question, now when you, I'll just repeat the question. The earlier part was right bite was the brand, but now you are going into Max Protein, right bite gets background.
It is Right Bite in a smaller one, so it still is a Right Bite as a brand,
Yeah.
but we are highlighting Max Protein, we are highlighting sugarless.
But don't you think?
You are marginalizing your main brand there, right?
Yeah.
Like, today
It's just
Cadbury,
like if I
Cadbury
go
generic
with,
to chocolate.
if I go with, a kind of a bookish or a standard how the brand should be, I agree.
But,
Okay,
the
I need to look at, see the resources taken. If I had put both are my products. Okay. 10 years down the road, or even today if I had to, now the Right Bite is a relatively known brand. Okay. In the nutrition bar industry, we are the market leader. So anybody who's taking the nutrition bar, they, a good likelihood they'll know about the Right Bite. Here, moment I say Max Protein, two products kept in. If had it been the bigger Right Bite and the Max Protein, I don't have significant budget to go and reach out to everybody. Okay, it's a very expensive process. Okay, what we have seen by making a Max Protein as a big, this thing, just by looking at it, oh, this is a protein bar. Okay, and for us, that is helping a lot.
I think it's a more practical way of doing it.
No, but at present, in the market and the energy bar sector, maybe Right Bite is available. Going down 5 years down the line, you'll have other brands which are coming in, other multinational brands which will come in, which already have a name in the market.
Right.
At that time, would you not get marginalized? Because then, see, it's like example is Cadbury's. Okay, Cadbury's generic. Today, if I'm buying a chocolate, if I see a Cadbury and if I see a Sunfeast, I'm attracted more towards Cadbury, not the sub product of Cadbury, maybe fruit and nut or silk or whatever,
I would answer to that. 5 years back, in the branding market, there used to be like Hero Honda Splendor. Bajaj changed it. Pulsar by Bajaj. And Bajaj is now marketing it. Things change. When you sub-brand your product,
no,
then
but that
say
is the
Pulsar, it's the same.
FMCG product.
No, what I have a question is, don't you see there's a risk in terms of some other brand coming in and copying exactly the same words as what you are? Somebody says women or workout bar. I'm just saying, assume that if there is a color match or there is a brand.
And
which
protein is a
used,
generic word.
Somebody
So
just comes.
cannot
I mean, it's
say
a question which I think can be very relevant when you look at more number of players in it. But that can be clear. Yeah.
I said, if you go with the bookish,
I agree with you. What is
I agree with you. But the market, the difference between the niche segment and the mass market. Okay, by the time that people who want to copy you are already established. Max Protein is already established.
No, but there's a huge
so
market.
at that time, okay, there are so many people who are knowing about it. So it is, instead of worrying about somebody, by having a generic name, the risk of somebody else copying that name. Okay, I will for an emerging company. It is more important that 5 years down the road, I am going to be still there. Okay, it's a fact. Okay, I take it as it's a risk of saying if it is the Right Bite, like you say Cadbury, now it's a fruit and nut or something else still. You're taking it because it's a Cadbury. But what happens? The customer do take the the Right Bite is still there. Okay, if somebody says instead of a Max Protein, a Mega Protein. Okay, those people will still look at Right Bite. When it's a 90 rupee product, they're not just going to take it, without looking at it.
But that's only if they have seen right by.
Yeah,
if
if
they
they have
keep
seen
focusing
right
on
by.
Max Protein, they
Correct.
won't see like, oh, was it right by to Unilever? I don't know.
Yeah.
But by that time,
No,
when somebody, simple thing, when somebody copies it, when it is already a very significant brand,
Significant brand.
you have already moved out from a niche to a kind of a larger segment really.
Right, but what happens is normally people make names which are very sounding similar to, like they could
Yeah.
make Maxi Protein
Listen,
and people won't be
today-
able to distinguish.
Our company is Natural. There is another bar called Natural Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The fact is, in today, they're selling but very few. Okay. So it is. I will look at for the startup business survival today. Okay. It's a fact. If I just say right bite to this in a big one and a Max Protein something in a smaller one, believe me, right? Your sales are going to be much lower. Okay, if I have the budget of Cadbury's, okay, no debate to have.
But sir, just to mention, like dairy milk, that's like a trademark of Cadbury's, and everybody understands dairy milk. So if you have sort of a nickname which identifies you, oh, Max Protein means right by, that would help you better so nobody copies you. See what I'm saying?
It's 20/20 hindsight. That's see, this is not. I'm not making a statement. You guys should do this. If you have to have a nutrition bar business, do this. That's not what the first statement I say. This is what I have done. Okay. What worked for us, what did not work for us. By putting Max Protein in a big way has worked for us. I am not making a claim this is the right way of branding. Okay? It's
In fact, I think we have.
Another thought I just got is that since your right bite, that you're portraying it so well in that one, is being taken as a chocolate bar more than anything else.
It is taken as a
Probably
chocolate bar.
Yeah, so probably that could have hampered the sale of this thinking that is get a chocolate bar.
yeah.
So
But
this is
moment
not
saying
something
it's a
you
Max
want
Protein.
to-
You are owning the category.
It is owning the category. This has
target with
Okay. So wherever, in the startup mode, if you can identify the category and name it with the category as a synonym, okay, it does help.
Eventually you can do the transition like Max Protein becomes smaller.
You can do that, yes.
It can be instant.
The other thing that we do, reach out to influencer. Okay, very important in this kind of thing. Whether it is dietitians, gymnasium trainers, reaching out to them does help. Okay? And you got this first time recommended by New Life, not New Life,
by Selection Sports.
Selection Sports.
You only have 15% we knew I'm a good customer. By then, that discount also was something which really mattered.
Yeah. So it's something that it's an influencer do tell that really that does help. Activities like a dietitian activity. Okay, we tie up with some insurance company where we go to a corporate. They talk about their financial health. We talk about the individual health and introduce nutrition bar there. Okay. Or Hyper City, one of the days we have 2 dietitians sitting in there. People walk in, free diet consultation. Okay, diet consultation online. So this dietitian activity, it does help. So it's like instead of just talking about the product benefits, we talk about your health, and then product may fit in there. Okay. Field activities. You were asking in terms of bodybuilding competition. Lot of activities with running clubs, swimming clubs. Like there was a swimathon in 5 kilometer swimathon in South Bombay. Again, we were the nutrition partner. Or local cycling club, whether it's a Bandra cycling club or running event of Snyder's or different things. We do participate, and simple easy thing that we do is provide the bar to them. At the end of the job running, we give one max protein bar. Okay, not a very expensive thing, but again, reaching out to them. So a lot of those kind of things that we do. Participation in specialized consumer fairs such as nutrition show, those kind of shows. Really. One of the shows that we had done, I was not very sure. Ravinder came and said, which show? It was one in Bandra or somewhere really there.
Big Boy Toys.
Big Boy Toys there was like expensive cars, expensive gadgets in there really. Not the health show, but it was attracting the high-end customers, and we got an excellent response from them. Really.
Are you doing it for yoga centers?
Okay.
Because I do yoga, so I know these people, they come and they keep this on a magazine called Wellness. So they come in these huge bundles there, and then they just ask whoever wants to take this and goes for free.
It's Wellness is another magazine that it's something that we yoga centers. We haven't really done a whole lot more really right now. The focus is the protein and so on. And let's do it. Okay, but if you are a little more innovative, okay, so, you can get mileage from different things. Really. Okay. Tomorrow we will have a video with Niti Desai, who is one of the prominent dietitians in South Bombay. And then we will promote these testimonials and videos. Okay. Corporate tie-ups. We have a tie-up with Reliance Insurance. They are whatever few lakh customer. We get the bank statement or Reliance Insurance. Along with that, there are different coupons: 20% off, this off, that off, really. So we are giving 20% off to anybody Reliance Insurance customer. Just seeing that. Whether that is a conversion, what percentage, but it just the brand gets seen at more number of places really. Works out well. PR coverage. Okay. We all know it's a very difficult thing to get a good PR, but continuing on it helps. We got an excellent PR coverage for Max Protein. It has to be something significant, something different to get PR coverage. Internet. You asked me about the internet. Absolutely. See, internet is very good if you have a specific value proposition, and it is very effective if you are able to make a transaction at that time. Okay. Before the Max Protein, we did not have ability to sell on the net. Okay. When you look at this product, it's difficult. The logistic does not work. This box costs 540 rupees, 500 rupees to sell. Okay. Suddenly with the 500 rupees, okay, whatever 30 rupees to 75 rupees depending on where I'm sending, I can spend on it. Because I'm giving 20% discount to my retailer. Okay, somebody buys it, I spend 75 rupees for shipping, still I'm better off. But what this does is, friend of yours who is in Bangalore, even though there are 1,000 outlets available there, it may not be next to his house or is not aware of it really. The product is he can purchase from there. Somebody who is sitting in Patna where we close the market, frankly, person in Patna, there are a lot of them who wants this product, who have budget to purchase it, okay, who is my absolute right customer, he can buy it today. With this bars, where it is 20 rupees, okay, even if he wants, a lot of time it doesn't make, commercial viability. So today with this, it is working better for us. Okay, there is a reasonable amount of business we are getting on the net, and net is something we started in last few months or 6 months really. Okay, we are learning quite a bit. It's like advertisement is one thing. Go on the TV, did the same thing. So what we did this time, we had 3 different agencies. One for blogs and forums, one for Facebook, one for Google AdWords, and then we are seeing different ones. What is the response? What comes from there, and so on. You know, it's I am one of the old-fashioned one. You know, still use 99% of my phone is for making a phone call or the SMS. You know, whether it's what capability it has, it doesn't matter really. But the fact is, today, if you look at a lot of people, a major chunk of them are really going on, a lot more net savvy and internet, on. So what we are finding is it's not just how many likes on the Facebook. We run a competition on the Facebook and I get a free bar. We get bombarded with this thing. But frankly, that is not good for me. So what we said, okay, we're just in a very early stage. Okay, we got 2,000-3,000 likes and say. Agents, you are saying, let's give you 10,000. Spend this money. Spend on advertising on this. We said, we're spending money to build something. Small amount, not a very large. I said, how many of these few thousand likes or my Facebook contacts are my real customers? Okay, so we said, I'm going to sell special offer to those few thousand. If you buy 500 rupees bar, okay, you will get one gymnasium bag free, 500 rupees worth. Wonderful offer, right? Just few of them. What that means is I'm not reaching out to the right Facebook audience. I'm not saying Facebook is not the right way. So we change the way, instead of a competition, completely move on to the health benefit, health related, so the postings are done on health. And we are seeing more and more, the right, customer for this.
The other thing that works is that you buy right database. Right database means C-level contacts for example, of companies. We actually do targeted marketing for them. It's like an email which goes like not necessarily a blast, but goes specifically for those guys, with name and all that. It's a tedious exercise, but that really helps. That is what I've seen.
We are doing that. We basically, buying the list or get the list from different, whether it's C-level executives or, the cars about 10 lakh rupees, database of people who are having car about 10 lakh rupees, and different ones really. Okay. Sending it, not just the, the sales email, but in terms of a newsletter or, we have a very good this thing, a calorie calculator. Okay, something like say, the fact is you burn more calories when you are watching TV. You burn more calories when you are sleeping than when you are watching TV or something. So did you know that you are burning more calories when you are sleeping than when you are watching TV? It's something, so interesting things. Those kind of things, and it out to the emailers, since we have it free, because we purchased, some with a company where they keep on changing your IP addresses so that it does not get blocked. The response is, still the brick and mortar plays a very, very major role. It's coming up for us, and this is in the learning phase, but I will say it's very, very important for a niche segment. I would rather say it has what it used to be a few years back and what it is today. Huge upgrade.
How many cities are you present today? Or
all the major cities.
Okay. Numbers?
Major business comes from top 5 cities. Okay. 80% of our business comes from top 5 cities. Okay. Or 6 cities. It's Bombay, Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune. That covers 80% of our
more young population or more conscious population.
Conscious, higher buying capacity, and the remaining 20 from the tier 2 other 50 cities.
So how does the regional preferences or tastes, or how does that affect, or do you take that into account? Are you seeing any regions?
not a whole lot in nutrition bar. It's the same bar that you give. It does play a role in terms of if you have
I was more concerned about reaching out to people in terms of, for example, now all your packaging, everything is in English. Right now it's in the metros. You're doing your branding exercises in Pune or in Chennai. Does the language of communication affect in any way?
The segment that you are targeting, okay, in our case it's mostly English. We have a leaflet made for this type of leaflet we made for in Tamil and in Kerala. Local language.
Do you see a reason to do that? Do you see a reason to do that?
It's again, salesperson asking, I want Tamil, because my customer doesn't know it.
Or maybe
we realize that the distribution of a Tamil or Malayalam leaflet is very minimal. It's all English. Okay, it's again, if it was because where we are reaching out to the consumer who pretty much know English.
Approximately leaflet, the packaging remains same.
Packaging is same, and it's very expensive.
Because Pepsi and all, it's consumed in rural, irrespective of whether it's in English or whatever.
Approximately how many bars are you selling now each month?
It's a good question, right? No company wants to tell their revenue.
So not revenues, but
we sell about 1 million bars per month. Okay, it's and I will say it's still a very much in a startup phase.
I think there's one question here where anything excess of this, does this have any health hazards or?
In terms of when this comes in a category of the food product. So typically, how many are you going to eat? 3, 4, 5, 10.
Anyways, anything in excess is not good.
So it's I don't think we have a real big issue about this one. But somebody asked me about maltitol. Okay, they said maltitol. We have a warning in there which you have say is if maltitol consumed. I think you asked me for the maltitol, right? Yes, maltitol does have a laxative effect if it is taken in a very large quantity. The amount is very small. I mean, it's to an extent. Even if you take 3, 4 bars, no issue at all. But if you consume, 50 bars for sake of it, then yes, you will have problem. Okay. And somebody asking me that, it's I keep it simple in terms of consume in a reasonable quantity. Okay. If it becomes extreme for anything, it becomes a bad thing. We all say, if I say make a statement, haldi is poisonous. It's like, what nonsense? And I eat haldi every day.
But in small quantities, it's fine.
Yeah, you should have a,
There's like
200 gram of haldi. Even 100 gram of haldi will be a bad thing for you.
There's like a toxicity limit, beyond that it's toxic. Next question. Can I ask you another question?
So I'm going to open up for this thing, it's all open, question. I'm not going to spend more time on, what my learnings are and this thing. I think it's actually more hands coming up really. So it's, completely open for this thing. And so it's, you can tell us and, tell me. It's okay.
You've spoken on your learnings on what went right. What were the things that didn't go right, or what would you, if you were doing the whole thing again, what would you avoid or what would you do for sure?
It's like even if you haven't heard anything for last time an hour or so, this question can stand on its own really. It's please do take a right bite candy bag.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't see in terms of serving breakfast. It's and they said, we will give the bar. But she had,
I had to make sure I have both options available.
Okay. So for each one of you, please do take a bag.
Does the central government still have an issue with stevia?
Yes.
In relationship to this, in my opinion, every chemist in a reasonably good area, wealthy area, sells stevia raw. Some of them sell white, some of them sell the dried leaves of stevia. So isn't that strange?
Dried leaves are okay to sell.
Okay.
Okay. There is no ban on stevia.
Okay.
Okay. They're saying if you call it the sweetener, then there's a problem.
Isn't that such a silly thing, sir?
It's a silly thing.
They haven't changed rules in 1954.
I mean,
it's so stupid.
If you have to, kind of,
it's like a no-brainer. It's stupid. That's why I have to raise
okay, it is. It's very silly thing. It's a.
And they don't have a problem with saccharin at all.
It's not that. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this. It's a kind of a sticky thing. It's a beautiful. I can have a separate session for that.
I suppose this comes under FDA, right? Under FDA.
Now it's an FSSI. It used to be PFA part of the FDA, now it's the FSSI.
So normally how many licenses are required to get this business for a startup?
Okay. Listen, I'm not going to, I've spent 15 years in the US. Okay. It's been almost about 15 years after I moved back here, right? Yeah, it's exactly 15 years, right? 98, 99. I make a statement, the best decision for me was to go to the US. Okay. And it was even a better decision for me to come back to India. Okay. It's, it's like, it's two different things. When you can talk about the lifestyle from business standpoint, we all talk about, it's like if you want to start a business, so easy and so on. In India, you need so many licenses and so on. If you have to do it every single thing, the life is a tough thing. But if I look at it as a positive thing. In the US, everything I have to do it. Okay, to go to the municipal office, I have to do it. Out here, there are people who can do it for you. Okay, so instead of I look at it, and it's true for anything. It's not just for the business. Okay. Instead of looking at the negative things, I tend to focus on the positive things. Okay, and try to figure out how things which are problematic things or issues, get it done. See, I do not take a rupee of favor or bribe from anybody. But if I have to give something, I am not the most idealistic saying I don't want to give money for this thing. I say let's get it done. I know it's not the right thing to do. Okay, but if I stick to that, then I won't be able to make a statement. It was a better decision for me to come back to India. Okay, India is a great country. Okay, there are so many positive things really. So I don't want to get into the things and bashing the government and bashing the licenses and so on. Yeah, it's a life there. Everybody is living in there. Let's say I'm not saying it's a good thing. Yes, it's a bad thing. Okay, don't take me wrong in saying chalta hai attitude. But when you are building a business, okay, think of it. What needs to be done? What are your priorities? Okay, you cannot do everything. I mean, one thing from in terms of when you are building a company, you cannot do everything. Okay. What we have done, what we have selected in terms of focus, brand building and distribution. Okay. Manufacturing, we outsource. Okay. Yeah, it's a very important thing. But for me, if I have to do that also, it just thin out my resources. Okay. Manufacturing may be a very critical piece in some other business. Okay. So don't take me as saying manufacturing is not important. Okay. So in your business, try to understand what is it that critical thing that for you, where you won't focus your resources.
So when you are selling online, you are using your own portal or you are trying to plug into other e-commerce sites?
Both.
You
we have our own. That's what we started saying. It makes sense for me to ship it from here. and we use other portals. Portal like Health Card.
Yeah.
In this business, Health Card is one of the most popular one right now. Okay. So with the Health Card, we are doing it, and the similar thing, the samples we are giving out, with the men's magazine. Similarly, anybody buying a Health Card product for next 2 or 3 months, they will get that small sample.
Okay. And your concentration is only on domestic market, or you also intending to export?
We are intending to export. There is a small amount that we are exporting. Okay, but when you have resources, limited resources, you focus on which market that you want to focus on really.
Just an add-on question: if you are planning to say exports, how are you planning to promote your brand for exports? I mean, is it just going to be an OEM supply, or you are going to sell it as
we are going to have our presence in the US. Okay, other one we are not going to be worrying about right now, but the US will have our own presence there in partnership with some other company where we have certain percentage of the company. It's a joint venture.
Can you throw some light on your distribution? Like you have super stockists, distributors, how does it work? And you do like for super stockist per state, how many super stockists per state?
For any consumer business, distribution is the backbone. When we started, we were looking at what are the different things to do. Should we have our own distribution or outsource it, or again something for different businesses really. We decided to go with our own distribution network. So what we have is each state has a super stockist or a consignee agent, what we call. So they act as a depot, and from there goes to the next level distributor. The large chain outlet orders are given supplied directly from the super stockist, and they get some extra margin for that. So if it is Reliance or Hypercity or some other chain outlet, so it goes to the one place the supply goes. It gets supplied to the super stockist. But if it is a independent outlet in Bandra, then the Bandra distributor will supply that outlet, and that's how the network typically works. Our business is distributor kind of plays a role of just supplying the product. Most of the orders, or 95% of the business orders, are booked by our sales team. And in a niche segment, that's what the typically works. If it's the mass market, then it goes in terms of we give the product to the distributor, and distributor takes it and they sells it really, and you don't have to have a salesperson collecting the order. Typically, distributor selling on his own works for the mass market, commodity product, something which is another biscuit or another chocolate. But for a niche market, that option does not work.
I think you have time for only one last question.
When you're introducing a new product, which may have weight loss, are you sure that you're going to use a disclaimer of may? I tell you why, because I have read a lot of cases from US FDA and Fashion Model Martinez where they used to make claims and eventually fought back with a lawsuit person. I mean, this is just a suggestion or
listen, we are going to stick to a nutrition bar. Okay, not you take so many bars and you will reduce your weight by 5 kg or 10 kg. No claims. Forget about in the US. In India also you cannot make claims. Okay, what you can make the claims. When you said the yoga center, okay, the immunity bar, ashwagandha, amla, ginger, some other herbs are good herbs for immunity. If it is your weight loss, it's like gugul, then Garcinia, green tea. Those are the type of So what you do, we have a bar. I did not bring it here. It's one smart bar. So you don't claim that you're going to lose weight. Okay, you say this has these ingredients, and these ingredients believed to help in doing so. Okay. So we are not in the business of, there are products which are, you take a tablet and it helps you do that. Okay. We are not in curing or making any claims. It's one, it is not allowed. The second, it's a very different market. Okay. We are saying you are eating a nutrition bar. This is another variant which has this ingredient, and typically it does help in this. And that is the export market that we are targeting.
Both these lines are different. I mean, whatever is chemically or synthetically manufactured, there are chemical formulas based upon which you can derive how much weight or how much fat you can lose. But whereas natural products are concerned, it's very difficult to judge that. I mean, that's where the fight between Ayurveda and
in that also standardized extracts. So it is
the concept of potency helps you derive at those labels, whereas in Ayurveda it doesn't. It is not based upon that.
Does the regulator support you on these facts? The regulator, food and safety. These guys come back to you in terms of what is happening with the business and how the feedback in terms of these questions.
You have to be careful in terms of what you print. Okay, you have to be extremely careful. In terms of you make doubly sure when you claim some vitamins and minerals, okay, not for the sake of it really, but you have to make sure that you stand behind it. So do the testing multiple times, put some overages in there, you put some vitamins in there. Some of it, kind of while cooking or making bars, process they lose out. So there are certain norms in terms of how much overage you have to. For example, protein. How many times it's 20 gram protein or 18 gram protein really? Okay, we have an ingredient soy nuggets that we import. Sometimes the shipment doesn't come. What do you do? Okay, so one, we can stop it, or you figure it out saying you increase the whey protein, which is the powder comes in there, but make sure that it matches. So as long as you are very clear in terms of knowingly, you will not cut corners or you will not do anything wrong. Okay, then you are okay. Okay, so it's very, very important that what you put on the label, you deliver.
Before you launch a new variant, what is the thought process that you go through, or what sort of process do you follow now? For example, you said you are launching something which may go for immunity or something like that. Do you try to discover new markets, or is it still a gut feel?
Yeah, it's when you launch a new product, it's not just because you feel that this will do well really. A lot of study has to happen. Okay, a lot of time it's like let me put it this way. If you have some research report that you look at it and then do it, typically that is for the mass market, not for the niche market. By the time that research is published, okay,
I think that's it.
It is already the niche is gone. It has become a mainstream. Okay, it's a fact. So as an entrepreneur, what do? So you talk, you observe, you understand, and that's plays a very, very major role in terms of trying to understand what consumers are looking for. I mean, when we came out with the Max Protein, it's not that anything, it's basically because the gym trainers were not giving out, not recommending, so that's why we came out with this thing. Now this has some other things that we are finding out. So we are coming out with the newer bars which has a different additional thing. Somebody says maltitol. So the new bar we're going to have is not have maltitol.
I think we have to take a few questions after that.
Since you said it's a niche, you have your own sales team going actually, so distributor doing it. So how do you actually manage the sales team? How do you really plan this nationwide? I think you have to can you just say this?
Operations is a very different ballgame. Yes. Completely different ballgame. Then you deal with what schemes are there, what margins are there, how much money you pay for keeping my product, for listing money you pay differently, for visibility money you pay differently.
Sales force team. The team is your own team, or
yes? Okay. Yeah, it's for the niche market, you have to have your own sales team. It is if you're a mass market, the strategy of giving it to distributor selling on its own, give extra 10% margin, life is a lot easier. Okay, like I said, building a brand in each segment is more difficult.
Right, there is no question. So the question is that your team will be like distributed across the country. Yeah. So you have to, or do you have a centralized team to just more?
We have distributed team and then centralized. With the modern trade, I have a modern trade manager. He or she will coordinate with local people and local modern trade manager and so on.
So on a managerial team, do you have a dedicated person for branding exercise?
Yeah,
he's dedicated for branding.
Of course. We have 3 people in brand building. Small team. I mean, some people may say, oh, 3 is pretty good. Some people may say just 3, it's too little. Okay. But it's again, it's not a number of people or dedicated. It's at what stage of the business you are, and what are the different things that you're doing.
So on this note, Vijay, I think this has been a brilliant morning. I think all of us have learned. I think one of the most useful tips which I found is even converting that thing into a layman thing, because whatever business I think you are, we get very technical about it in terms of the number of grams, what example you gave, and equating it to a 1 cup of milk or 1 orange or so many atoms. This is something which is a little innovative and different thinking. And I think in our own businesses, if we find that way of communication, I think that communication is very important, instead of just going the way the typical traditional market does. So thank you so much, Vijay.
And it's I'm also a Thai mentor, but not as a mentor, but as a colleague. If you guys have anything, feel free. I'm not going to claim that I'm an expert in a particular one, but as being a Thai member, it's something that I do. Happy to talk to anybody, answer anything offline. Feel free.
Thank you.